On the table in front of me are the watches I have bought and kept so far this year. Quite a few, as you can see. This is in addition to the dozen or so watches I bought last year. The truth is, I can't stop buying watches. In the grand scheme of things, there are much worse problems to have, of course, but it's an obsession nevertheless. As I am a total nerd, I've kept track of what I've bought and sold this year, so here is the data for 2023. In January, I bought two watches, a Seagull 1963 and a Vostok Amphibia Scuba Dude. I bought no watches in February. In March, I bought two watches, a Q-Timex Vintage Hodinkee Limited Edition and a Merkur Salmon Dye watch, which I no longer own. I then had a welcome dry spell in April, May and June, where I bought nothing. In July, I bought two watches, an Invicta Pro Diver 8936 and a Seiko Dolce SACM 150. In August, I bought a Q-Timex 1978 reissue date 35mm, but returned it for a refund as it was damaged. In September, I bought two watches, a Tissot Heritage Z173 and a Seiko Presage Cocktail Time Matcha SRPF 41J1. In October, I bought a Mundane Mini Giant, but also returned that one for a refund as it was scratched. In November, I bought a Venezian Eco Redentore Ultra Black 36, and I bought another Q-Timex 1978 reissue date 35mm and returned that one too because I didn't learn my lesson the first time. I've also pre-ordered a Laurier Astra Cosmic Blue, but that isn't due until spring or summer next year, as I missed out on the initial batch of watches. From the pictures I have seen though, it looks incredible. And that's it so far. I did sell two watches which I had bought in 2022, an Accurist Retro Racer 7367 and a Casio MTP-V005. And I also sold the aforementioned Salmon Dial Merkur. So in total, 9 watches joined the collection, with another one on the way, and 3 watches left the collection. That's quite a few watches at least to the casual observer. And of course there are many more I agonised over, or tried to buy but didn't manage to for whatever reason. At the start of every month I tell myself I won't buy any more watches that month, but I usually end up bemoaning my lack of self-control. There's always a great deal or a unique opportunity that is too good to pass up, at least that's what I say in my own mind. Naturally it can get expensive, but I consider myself a bit of a wheeler and dealer, which helps a little bit. When I started YouTube I was foolish and thought I could make some money and use that to fund my addiction, but it hasn't worked out that way. The AdSense revenue is woeful and hasn't even come close to even covering the cost of producing the content. It may do in the future, but that remains to be seen. In the watch world there are many running jokes about watch addiction, but I have no doubt that for some people it is a real problem. Perhaps it isn't as visibly destructive as booze or drugs, but the psychology is similar and the consequences are still potentially devastating, like with any addiction. It's important to have hobbies and passions, but there is a fine line between passion and addiction. If you receive a watch and you immediately start thinking about the next one, if you're running up your credit card to buy watches, if you spend all day devouring watch content on social media, if you keep secrets from loved ones, these are all potential signs. I think a lot of the time, addiction fills a gap in a person's life. It's a coping mechanism. It can be comforting to buy things. They don't call it retail therapy for nothing. If you do find yourself in this predicament, I think you've just got to get away from it all. Get stuck into other hobbies or get outside and do some exercise. Spend some more time with your family or friends. Or meet some new people. Anything to take your mind off it really. Touch grass, as they say. If that doesn't work, then perhaps it's time to consider seeking some proper help. I don't think I have a real problem yet, but I've made this video in the hope of keeping myself in check. And if you feel the same way, then at least know that there are other people that are in the same situation. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you have a problem, or are you able to keep things under control? That's all I've got time for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.